Right. So very good morning, all of you. So both offline and online. So even online, I think still limited. Okay, there are two. Okay, on the way. Okay. So maybe they are also on the way. Yeah. Any doubts before we go ahead with this week? Important current issues. Hmm. Okay. Okay. So one of the news, okay, that in glasses, the Britain's Queen Elizabeth II passed away. Okay. And say that the age of 96 is one thing. You can see the picture also at what time, okay, when she assumed the crown. Oh. So here the few questions, the competitive point of view, you have to keep in mind. The queen, not the president, not the prime minister, not even the king. So those who are not aware, we have to make it a point. So just on this one. Yeah. It's a monarchy. Okay. Monarchy implies the king's rule. Okay, rule of hereditary. Otherwise, the king or the queen is hereditary. The king died, another king will come. Okay, hereditary nature. Then sons. If son is not, then the daughter. This how the daughter became. So the queen. So when you say the monarchy in the Britain, especially when you say this concern, we called it a, but still we have prime minister. Recently, even have the new prime minister. Who? With the new prime minister of Britain. Sure. See how the democratic way the prime minister get elected there, isn't it? In India, almost it is dictated by a party or it is a family issue. But unlike there, okay, entirely different. Okay. Simply the party has chosen from the ground level to the up, isn't it? So this two things when you say this, okay, the queen passed away and the new prime minister just okay days before get elected. Definitely, it will attract the attention of the examiners to pose the questions, either the civils or the groups or whatever it be. And few interconnected things you have to keep in mind. So, if we say this what we call when this monarchy. In Britain, we call this as a constitutional monarchy. What it implies? Constitutional monarchy we call it. So this is the word they use it for this. No doubt the king or queen is there. If the king died, the concept of long live the king. Okay, so somebody will take it. But they are nominal only, exist for namesake. Okay, and quick recollection of 1215, a number of competitive examination you will find this question. What is 1215? Good. Magna, the Great Charter. So when you say this Magna Carta, yeah, good. Divyashri mentioned, right? Bhagavati, Liz Press, okay, good enough. Aparna to mention, right? So when you say this Magna Carta, the Great Charter, the people vexed with the dictatorial tendencies, the authoritarian tendencies of the king, revolted virtually, and finally forced the king to sign on a paper. This is what they call the Great Paper, a Magna Carta. So with this, the powers virtually usurped or taken by the people from the king. So the meaning of democracy, of the people, by the people, for the people, in a way, get realized in Britain with that. Then they have a democratic government, and the first prime minister in the world itself, a democratically elected, and that's from Britain. And now that prime minister change, even that is also an important issue. Who was the first prime minister of Britain, and who was coincidentally first democratically elected prime minister in the world? Who? Any idea? Definitely, we have to quick recollection. Walpole. Okay. First PM. The world itself. Okay. Of course, Britain. So the Britain laid the foundation with this, what we call a parliamentary system, wherein at the outlook, like whether it's a parliamentary or presidential, you will find the head of the state and head of the government, isn't it? The two we have, head of the state and head of the government, two differentiations. The king or queen, the president, like this, they are the head of the state. The prime minister is head of the government. Our council of ministers headed by prime minister is head of the government. A collective responsibility principle. And the head of the state has to function in tune with, or our Indian constitution uses the word, according to the advice of the cabinet. That virtually taken away the powers of the head of the state and made it as a rubber stamp. And this system started from Britain. The reason why Britain is also called as mother of parliaments, isn't it? Because the parliamentary institution started from Britain. Okay, number of competitive exams, even group 3, group 4, group 2, whatever you call, you will find this, which country is called as the mother of parliament, a standard GK question. Okay, so this is the quick recollection of it. Then onwards, king or the queen become nominal. There's no son, so the parents. So 96-year-old now, the Queen Elizabeth. Okay, I'm sure that from our, or from your the days, or even from my days, we heard this name only. But now you are getting the new king or queen? King now. So it's not the queen, it's the king. But the innumerable formalities is also associated with this. Okay. This is what you call Operation Unicorn, or London Bridge down. Maybe, okay, all the newspapers carrying these words, I think advisable to know it. London Bridge. So always this is London Bridge down. Immediately they use the word, right? So the process holding the funeral is very formal, as in India, right? It's 10 plus 1. They are adhering to. Okay. One means the day they died and remaining 10 days, all the mourning and everything. And all activities they were done under the name of this Operation Unicorn. So, Operation Unicorn, when you say this, is a name operation after the Scotland national animal. Again, if the GK question, what is the national animal of Scotland, by chance, if any competitive examination posed it, it's a current affairs. Though it looks like why they are asking about Scotland. Now that the operation relating to the funeral process of Queen Elizabeth was named after, and possibility of asking this sort of the question as well, isn't it? So it's how the symbol if the part is concerned. So remember here when you say this, it is the United Kingdom includes three things. Okay, sometimes we call the Britain as well as an alternative name. England. England, if we call it's not. England is one part of it. England, Scotland, and Ireland. Okay, Northern Ireland, to be more specific. This constitute the United Kingdom. So once of this England, okay, once upon a time that is. All the three together we call the Great Britain. Okay. So London Bridge down. That's what all the newspapers carried on, even when when the death is announced. Very formality they followed. Okay, if you see the British newspapers or the BBC like this. Okay, everything all the way. So these two things just keep in mind. London Bridge down implies or relating to, or may I ask this Operation Unicorn. So once it is now the King Charles III. Okay, again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are there, and the competitive you have the proxy. So King Charles 2, 3. Okay, if they given 1, 2, 3, 4, then so what to be named? Okay, the bigger issue. So it's King Charles III. So this need to be underlined more. Okay, on this one concern, will become automatically king for concern. So now is called as the head of the state. Here says not just in UK but 14 other Commonwealth realms. What is this Commonwealth? Commonwealth countries is once upon a time ruled by the Britishers. The king or the queen is a symbolic head for all the entire Commonwealth. That's one thing. But out of this, the 14 Commonwealth countries considered their head of the state itself is the king or the queen. That means they have only prime minister, no president. They consider the king or queen as their head of the state. Okay? Then you can understand how significant role the Britain is playing in these countries. So now is going to be this. So this word, okay, King Charles is okay, but the Charles III, there is a point which you have to be noted. Very important. Okay. Then the innumerable changes is going to take place. One of the crucial things, I'm sure that now God save the king. So hitherto in the British national anthem, you will find the queen. Now the king replaced. So everywhere, maybe it will take few months to look at everything. And is there any other relating to India? Okay, because once we collected, so once a person died at home, okay, mother, father, or somebody else, right? The properties passed on to the sons, daughters. Issue is there. Who should get what? And especially daughters, daughter-in-laws. Issue of what? Other than land and everything, they don't bother about those things. The women, gold, jewels, okay, ornaments. That is a major contentious issue. Okay, am I right or not? Others, they are least bothered. Okay, of course, I'm generalizing. It is not any specific to anyone as such. So the similar case too, and there is one that very much linked to India, and Indian media is focusing on this. Who will get that now? Who will get that now? So can you guess? Yeah, yeah, wonderful. The Swati, I think, mentioned in the Kohinoor, right? Right, right. So what is Kohinoor? Hmm? Hmm? Kohinoor diamond, supposed to be India's, but somehow taken away by Britishers, and they are holding that one even today. Though we are putting an efforts, but we are not able to get it back. Simple reason is the woman is holding the chair hitherto. Then we are also concerned, okay, let it be so. Because now that you are wearing, all right, to some extent, India also not stressed to the maximum extent. But now that it's not the woman, I'm sure that the Charles III may not wear it, isn't it? So can't we stress it now? Why don't you send it back to? Plus, we have a good relation with Britain right now, especially after Britain exit from European Union. Okay, either Boris Johnson period, good enough it is, and the present Prime Minister too. It looks like okay wanted to continue that legacy. So what to do? The bigger questions also be there. But anyhow, it looks like the newspapers carrying on, right? Right. That's what they mentioned. The Camilla, the daughter-in-law, may get it. Okay, it's yet to officially announce, but that's what the things are going on. Camilla, yeah. No doubt, from women to men folk only that will come. No, okay, whoever be the concern. But only a general Indian media and everybody expecting is that why don't you stress this now before passing on to somebody, before having authority? Yes, it's mine. Yes, that is the biggest problem. So once you have given the gift, you can't take it back. Okay, but at what point? Because legally speaking, you have given the gift, and the contract. There's a concept called consent. You accepted it, right? But at what context you accept it? If you are given your consent, you only said yes, but your consent is happen either by any sort of coercion, that is force, it is not valid. Not only just the coercion or the force, even if it happened by mistake, by misrepresentation, by fraud, also not valid. But most important thing in Indian Contract Act, which the Britishers themselves made, is what the term called undue influence. Okay, if the contract or you agreed because of undue influence, later if you simply selected to invalidate your contract, then yes, it is valid. Okay, you can do so. What is undue influence? For example, your father says something, you don't like it, but still you did it. Okay, now this is MSET issues, okay, MPC, BPC issues, most of the children after 10th class. Okay, so though they don't like the math, still they opted for engineering, they don't like to be doctor, but still they do just because the parent. This is what you call an undue influence. And if you enter into the profession, whatever your boss says, you have to adhere to whether you like or don't like. because somebody is at the hierarchy at the high end level, you have to do, even because of that issue you are in that maya. Okay, you are the, for example, a devotee of a baba. Okay, so you are in that impression and you have given your property as a gift. Now that after a few days you realize something, can you take it back? Okay, so in this connection, if you establish this undue influence, that contract become void, it become invalid. That's what we use the legal term voidable. Okay, voidable, initially valid, but later, yes, you can choose it, it can become invalid, and court will do so. Okay, the other days the Supreme Court judgment, for example, one girl marriage was annulled, cancelled by the Supreme Court. Okay, because that marriage was happened during her childhood. At the time she consented, though child marriage is stand abolished in India, still the states like Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, they are going on. Okay, now that she want to study, but now the present in-law they don't want to come back, so she opted for, with help of NGO, the court help, and court came into the rescue and cancelled the marriage. Okay, though you can't say that at the time she only accepted. It's all an undue influence. Okay, it just happened because of undue influence, apart from the legal, other legal acts. Okay, child marriage act, anything you may concern, even the related is that, no, if the marriage happened before 18 years and when the girls opted after she became the major to cancel it, yes, court will look into that, and if the genuine reason is there, yes, they may cancel it. These are all the terms generally we use the word undue influence. So why we are given the, this is what, okay, in the circle, right, when the issue is comes this Kohinoor, and already India is making an effort, and Britain has given number of, okay, India's what you call the heritage related symbols back to, okay, back to India. It's not a new to Britain, or even for the other country also, something else is there with them, yes, whenever a prime minister visited or anything else, they used to give it back. So this demand is there for a long time, but let us see what it concerns. Yeah, and Swati also mentioned this undue influence. Good. Anyhow, that is one of the issue relating to India, but still, okay, this, and if any questions relating to on legacy of the Kohinoor diamond, so make note of those things. So now that our friend says when it was given to British, passed on, so it looks like a status says 105.6 carat diamond, that is, so that now become a symbol of British monarchy. Long back in the 14th century it was found in India, it looks like, and it was handed over to Britain in 1849 after annexation of Punjab. So maybe history point of view, advisable to keep that point, 1849. So at the time the Queen Victoria. But anyhow, Kohinoor crown now they are calling, right? Wearing, that was created way back 1937 only, not even before. The Kohinoor crown was created 1937 for the coronation of this King George VI, and that became the part of it from then onwards. So question always there, whose diamond it is? So let us see this. Anyhow, that may be interesting, but still has to be looked into. Then one more question may be relating to the Queen. No doubt the head of the states two visits. Has she visited India? Prime Minister, of course, number of times. King or Queen have ever visited? When and how many times? During Indira Gandhi period. So just before the death of Indira Gandhi, 1983. But anyhow, 1961, so before India-China War, and 1983, before the death of Indira Gandhi, then 1997, so before, a year before, Pokhran 2. That's how I recollect the things done. Okay, once you associate it with something, okay, so every time, right, something happened in India, the historical part. So 61, 83, and 87. Okay, so 3 times they visited too. Okay. So that's a few things you have to keep in mind. So any doubts? This Queen. Then of course Liz Truss, right, elected as this new PM, defeating in this inner party elections the Rishi Sunak. Everybody initially is a favorite, but in the course of debate, a process that's very unique to Britain was receded to background, and Liz Truss get elected. And at the juncture, the few more issues also you may quickly recollect. Okay, recently, the innumerable changes also happened regarding the Prime Minister, including Prime Minister of Sri Lanka, right? Recent part we discussed, Dinesh Gunawardene became it, and Colombia, Kuwait, okay, even South Korea, you'll find the new president there, okay, and then Pakistan too, you'll find the new Prime Minister, right? Shahbaz Sharif, then the France too, Hungary, of course, here the president's few. So few changes too you may quickly recollect, so that from the exam point of view it's good enough. And who the first Prime Minister of Britain? Just now in the beginning we said Walpole. So don't forget that also in this contest. Okay. Then who's the Prime Minister of Britain when India got independence? There's also number of competitive examination you will find this. Clement Attlee. Okay. అట్లు అట్లు గుర్తుపెట్టుకుంటూ వస్తుంది అట్లే PM at 1947, right, when you say this India's independence. So, Clement Attlee. So this name also advisable to remember, apart from Walpole. Then back to another news. So very much, because again the visit of Bangladeshi Prime Minister to India, but live with good relations with Bangladesh. And it's also very clear, right? Once upon a time there's no Bangladesh. It's a part and parcel of India itself. So when a British India. So when 1947 divided, it is. But the seeds for partition of India were sowed when way back the partition of Bengal that happened in 1905. Then later it was legalized by Minto Morley reforms. Okay, the process of separate what you call communal electorate we call. So this all the history we discussed. So in the Bengali partition, the present Bengal, West Bengal, okay, one is divided into two, East Bengal and West Bengal, based on religion issues. That what the British policy of divide and rule, okay, started with this Bengal. So the reason why India now we have the West Bengal, that is Bengal, is nothing but the Bangladesh. So when 1947, when Pakistan created, India is in between, and East Pakistan, West Pakistan. Okay, and 1971, the liberation of Bangladesh happened, right? So the Bangladesh origin, East Pakistan became the Bangladesh. Of course, India played a very crucial role. So who is the father of Bangladesh? Rahman. What is the Rahman full name? Mujibur Rahman. Any connection with the Mujibur Rahman and the Hasina? With the daughter. Okay. Even in this issue, the few questions, of course, last time we celebrated the 2021, 50 years in the issue. So possibility of asking even that sort of question, you may quickly recollect the issues. Yeah. Sure, then write that down. Good. Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. Good enough. Okay. Then so India played a crucial role in liberation. Even we take the risk of fighting with Pakistan as well as America at that point of time. So whatever be the reason, either historical reason, because Bengal culture, right? When you say Bengal is one, so it's very difficult for us to distinguish the Bangladeshis from India. Apart from this, the geography plays a crucial role. Innumerable rivers we have with India and Bangladesh, and the border is so porous. So we have the border problem, and we have the river water sharing issue. The two crucial issues. So what is the border line between India and Bangladesh is called as? India-Pakistan is Radcliffe line. I'm sure that. Now what is India's Bangladesh? Same it is, okay. Same Radcliffe line. Is there any LOC here? Like their LOC, because some part of India was the Kashmiri part occupied. So now it's called line of control, India and Pakistan. Is that anything like this here? Nothing like this. Okay, has nothing happened. So Radcliffe line still the border line. So nothing to be confused about that. Then we have the LBA, Land Border Agreement recently. Okay. After the Modi, it was formed. Though it is discussing long back, it was finalized during this Modi tenure. So we don't have any border problem now with Bangladesh. All enclave issue was resolved. Okay, small enclaves are there. Okay, from Indian territory to Bangladesh to India territory, and vice versa. It is like this. So now those issues get resolved. The next issue is only one crucial thing: is water sharing. As last time we discussed, future maybe the water wars got to be. And before coming herself, the issue is that, and possibility of one agreement on one river. What is that? Last week itself we discussed, right? That is on Kushiara. So finally, it's done on the river Kushiara. How many rivers India and Bangladesh? It means how many rivers passing from India to Bangladesh, or Bangladesh, India we are sharing? Not 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Innumerable things. Yeah, Swati and Bandari, Swati, right? Swati, Rapu. Two names are there. Bandaru Swati, Swati Rapu. So two different. Good. Both of you mentioned right. 54, then Rusha, Aparna, all 54. So this is again, okay, number of issues related to the competitive point of view. Very important. And now that you have to remember, but still one issue is pending. Still Bangladesh looking towards India, okay, eagerly to resolve the issue. What is that? That is of Tista issue. Okay, Ganga issue resolved, the Faraka issue, Tista issue still pending. And if you are able to do this, okay, now why can't we do elsewhere. So this is all when you talking about, okay, last time I show you this map itself, right? So where is this river? Kushiara, right? The issue is concerned. You can see the so many rivers passing through the issue. Okay, all the part is concerned. So from which state it is entering into Bangladesh? Kushiara, linked with which state? Assam. So first time the Assam get involved and other northeastern states as well. And Kushiara river originate from hmm, hmm, Nagaland. The northeastern states, everything is concerned. Okay. So, and the issue of Tista is there, wherein the West Bengal is involved here, and West Bengal objections show the problem. We are ready to share right now with the Tista 42.5%. Okay. Initially 39, now we increased to 42.5. But Bangladesh claims at least 50%. We want 55%. Okay, main contention now. India want 55. Bangladesh, so 55 means Bangladesh get only 45. Already 42.5 we are sharing. Only the 2.5 is an issue from India side. But Bangladesh want 50% of it. That means for them the deficient of 7.2. Okay. Because that is their lifeline. Tista is also apart from Bengal's lifeline. This is also things. So either agricultural land, okay, or to the population of the Bangladesh, even out of 54 rivers, 7% of the population exclusively dependent on this Tista for their drinking water, apart from the agriculture related. So you have to address that issue. And why Bangladesh part is concerned, one, this river originated from Sikkim. So, and Kalimonga, all these areas, right? Siliguri, all the part is concerned how this is. So, it constructed innumerable dams and addressing the complete West Bengal is passing through. So, if you assign 50% to the Bangladesh, then definitely it will affect the West Bengal. So, that is what the West Bengal, especially in the lean seasons, right? When the heavy rain is there, like now happening in Hyderabad and Bangalore, no issue. But what about the other time? So we have to be starved. And this river both for the drinking water as well as to the feeds. So has to be concerned. And one of the reason here is why you have to take the state concern is simple reason is what? Water is the state subject. What do you mean by state subject? We have three lists: union list, state list, concurrent. Which schedule of the Indian Constitution we have that? Or article? Not article, right? Huh? Is it article 7 or schedule 7? Confusing. Or part 7? Schedule on. Okay, need not to be confused. Schedule 7 contains the legislative division of powers. So union list implies only parliament can make a law. State implies only state legislature can make a law. And what the other where both can make a law, it's known as concurrent list. Recent regarding electricity, right? This issue arises. Electricity is in the concurrent list, whereas water is in the things. But electricity can generate from water. So I do. So again, always interconnectivity is there, the issue. So because of that, the state consent too is required. And after all, ours is a federation, though federal in nature at least. Okay, federal in structure. So you cannot completely undo the state's concerns as we required the cooperative federalism. Okay. So we are trying to convince the Bangladesh. So let us see how it is going to be. But still, the Bangladesh wants it. Okay, trying to negotiate as much as it can. And West Bengal CM, initially at one point it looks like she accepted for 45 at least, but Bangladesh is insisting for 50, so there it stopped. Now Hasina wanted to convince more of uh, Banerjee rather than Modi. And before she arrived to India, she passed on a gift to whom? The West Bengal. What it is? Recently, it was very much asked by one special fish is there. Okay, like no, here in Andhra Pradesh, right? In this August part is concerned. What is the fish? Huh? Most sought after, thousands kg pulasa, right? A special, okay, and most sought after. Only a particular season is available, nothing else. So there is one fish, very favorite dish for the Calcuttans, and come what may, because that is available only in Bangladesh. So we had to import. At one point, the Bangladesh stopped imports. What is that? Yeah, Aparna mentioned Hilsa. Is it right? Hmm? So Hilsa fish reached Calcutta ahead of Durga Puja itself. Okay, because now this, okay, Durga Puja is about to be, and it's most sought after the issue, and auspicious festival, and people want that. Okay, this Hilsa. So as a symbolic gesture, the Bangladesh allows 2,450 tons of fish to Calcutta. So they have given permission. Actually, the export of this Hilsa to India was banned way back 2012. So we don't have this one. So every time it has to be given some exemption. Now, before her arrival, and she made that symbolic gesture. Okay, so now the fish came. Now whether Mamata Banerjee will okay, add something, okay, or red one give back, okay, something is a question, but still she is adamant. But anyhow, up to 45 she is ready. Indian government right now agreement is 42.5. Up to 45 they're ready, and that's what Indian government stand also, 55-45 ratio. But as an asking at least via media another, okay, 2% increase. It may be 47 we had to, but anyhow this has not happened in this case. So let us see what it be. But anyhow, regarding what we call, if we say this, Bangladesh recently, in spite of thing, right? Other countries suppose not reaching Bangladesh. With the consent of Bangladesh, we are able to establish the among India itself. India will connect with the rest of India, especially this northern India via Bangladesh. What is that motor vehicles agreement called? Recently it came into force in spite of Bhutan's non-ratification. Bhutan has not ratified, but still let us go ahead. Three countries has gone ahead. Apart from Bangladesh, we have the Nepal and India. What is that called? Yeah, Swati mentioned BBIN. BBIN. Okay, so this Bhutan is not. So the Bangladesh, India, and Nepal continued with this motor vehicles agreement. So a seamless connectivity from one country to another is a thing. Now you can simply pass upon your cargo from your vehicle itself. Previously is that you have to change the vehicle. Indian vehicle go to that border, then Bangladesh vehicle, you have to shift everything, load, and you have to Nepal, again Nepal vehicle. You have to change the vehicles. Now no need for that. There's a seamless connectivity was provided. So if the Bhutan, why Bhutan not ratified, though initially agreed on ecological concern, their environmental issue. If the too many trucks are passing on, they feel that the environmental damage may occur. So it was opposed by most of the lawmakers, and some public protests also there. So by adhering to that, because now Bhutan, no doubt, is there also king. Once upon a time is only monarchy. Now Bhutan is a constitutional monarchy. There also the democratic governments came in. So wherever the democratic government, they can't ignore the completely the people's protests. So it is adhered to on this issue, right? So, and regarding railways and all the things we have, right? Bus connectivity, rail connectivity, all those things. Any doubt related to Bangladesh? You may add anything, few more points. Okay. Then back to India, another, right? The issue of India, China. At last, a disengagement started at LAC. LAC full form? Line of actual control. Okay. What is that? It's the border line between India and China. What actually the border line between India and China called as McMahon line, right? Actually, it is a McMahon line. Way back 1914, British India, then Tibet and China agreed for. Anyhow, China at last minute walked out also. Said, no, we will not accept that. So, 1962 war, China occupied some part of India, and major part of is in Aksachim. Then Arunachal Pradesh area, still they are there. So we said, okay, after 45 days of this war, Chinese state wherever they are. So some part is already. So we call this LAC. So always keep in mind LOC is different, LAC is different. LAC is regarding China, LOC regarding just now we said Pakistan. This we call technically a de facto borders. Okay, de facto means in reality. What is the de jure? As per law. Pakistan, Radcliffe, China, McMahon line. Okay, these are the de jure, J-U-R-E, D-E-J-U-R-E, as per law, as per fact. So the terms always you have to keep in mind. This is the de facto. Whereas the de jure, when you say this, is the McMahon. Okay. So this is the, so 2020, okay, is a very crucial part happened, and China virtually intruded into Indian territory by crossing LAC itself, and there is a fist fights, and finally they back. That's what the Galwan Valley. Okay, all these incidents happens, and this hot springs, right, and Karakoram, all the part. Okay, the thing is concerned. And now that once they been to, this is the 14, this is the 15, and now already 14 in the beginning itself the disengagement happened. Now here also they started going back. So agreed with Because the problem is that India is seeking very clearly what is LAC. That means India is seeking what we call clarification of LAC. So where this LAC actually? So when India says this is an LAC, China says this is. Is it right? We want in up to this. China on top. We said, all right, you are stating something. Now at least now draw this. This or this you first draw. What is your perception actually? Okay. So far, China is not giving any clarification of areas. He said, keep that also aside. Let us go ahead, discuss ahead with other trade issues and other corporate issues. So China is reluctant to resolve the border issue with India. Whenever it will convenient, it entered into Indian territory, inch by inch. They will not attack everything, okay, all the time. So that by the time we observe, they used to take 10 steps forward. Then once we said, they will take 1 or 2 steps back. That means already some of like that, they are entering into Indian territory. So we have to look at how it be all the way, right? This is what the LAC, LOC relate here Pakistan, LAC. Okay, so this differentiation you have to be. Now the crucial points that is happening is Damchok and Chumar. These two also now disengagement has to be happened. So in 2020 they entered into here there also. So still it is just. Now here the issue get resolved. So Pangso, this is a lake, right? And the thing is concerned. All the issues now, but almost all here the issue resolved. Now once this also if it resolved, then the border issue may be settled temporarily. Okay, China as don't wanted to give the complete clarification. So the issue. Okay, so any doubt on this? How many kilometers you will find this India-China border? I think last time I told you also this. One examination it came. So check your previous notes and do this. Then back to India. So this is another the highlight the issue. Doing away the colonial mindset. You are redrawing, redesigning, renaming. Okay, the issues, the colonial legacy we call. So why we need to have that? Why don't we have our own way? Isn't it? So doing away with this one. So the name, what is this Rajpath? Now it is a Kartavya Path. Yeah, right. 3488 kilometers, Aparna mentioned rightly. Okay, good enough. That is of India-China borderland. Okay. So when you say this Rajpath, what's the English name? Kingsway, right? So when it was done, when the capital was shifted from Calcutta to Delhi, right? Previously, Calcutta is the capital. It was shifted to Delhi. In which year? Huh? Kingsway, 19, right, 1911. So who visited then? King George, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. George 5, King George 5 visit. So that's what the Delhi Darbar, okay, was held at that part. Even that, okay, all the points you have to keep in mind. What we called George 5, okay, use the word king, no issue. George 5, Delhi Darbar, okay, shifting of capital, okay, shifting of capital to New Delhi, to Delhi. From where? From Calcutta. All these are again your competitive point here, all the concern. And who are the architects? Of course, coincidentally, they are the architects of Delhi. Lutyens, good. Edwin, Edwin Lutyens, Lutyens, not E-N. And Herbert Baker, both are there. Edwin Lutyens, Herbert Baker. So these two are the architects of Delhi, right? So they only designed this path also. Now we are renaming this. So this stretch links Rashtrapati Bhavan, Vijay Chowk as well as India Gate, right? This thing is concerned. Is it National Memorial? Now recently National War Memorial is there. Is that there only or elsewhere? Recently they made no National War Memorial. Is it there or elsewhere? It's also okay. You'll find National War Memorial is on this path only. Even National Stadium is also in this. So it's linking Rashtrapati Bhavan, Vijay Chowk, India Gate, National War Memorial, and National Stadium. All parts. How long it is? It took me 15 minutes to walk. So 3 kilometers. Okay, slowly walking. Okay, it is a 3 kilometer stretch. So initially it's the Kingsway. It was renamed as Rajpath after independence only. Okay, a Hindi name was assigned as 2022, right? August 15th. Prime Minister openly stated, right? He wanted to abolish all symbols of colonialism. So from then onward, they started renaming innumerable things. So among this is one. And of course, the part of Central Vista redevelopment project. What is the Central Vista redevelopment project? Construction of new parliament building. Good. So you may collect those things. Any doubts? Anything happened in addition to renaming? The Prime Minister did anything? What is this? The statue of Subhash Chandra Bose is unveiled by Subhash Chandra Bose statue. So Prime Minister unveiled this 28 feet tall statue. Where? At India Gate only. Okay. So this is how the thing is concerned. King George V used to be there at that time because of the King's Way. So after 1968, that was done away. So it's an empty. So whoever be there, they used to go and sit here and take the photos in between. Okay. So 68, we have done away with that and kept it. Now you will find the statue here. Okay. And I'm sure that the questions may come on Subhash Chandra Bose few things. And most importantly, number of exams you will find the one slogan given by him. And one quotation, very famous quote also appears regularly in the exam. Generally, we know Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan. Last time we said, what is associated with Subhash Chandra Bose? Jai Hind. So Jai Hind, when you say this, right? Always, whenever the Vande Mataram or Janagana Mana, we made it in the ending. Definitely, we may say Jai Hind, right? So the Jai Hind slogan is very much associated with Subhash Chandra Bose. And one of the famous quote that linked with him, because when the Second World War on, right? He left India, joined hands with Germany, later with Japan, then initiated, what is that? Azad Hindu Force, and waged the war against British India. But at that time, he has given a wonderful slogan. What is that? Pardon? Give me blood. That's very much associated with. So he is for freedom, that is Swaraj, from the beginning, from the Britishers. Though 1930, officially the Congress, right, adopted that the Purna Swaraj, achieving complete independence, is the aim of India's independence. Subhash Chandra Bose talked it before itself. And symbolically, he started a newspaper or magazine, I believe, on his name, Swaraj. What is that? Newspaper only, yeah. In newspaper Swaraj. So newspaper Swaraj was started by Subhash Chandra Bose. Okay. Way back 1921. Okay. 21 he joined the Congress by resigning his civil services, okay, as the part, and it is concerned. And of course, 23 onwards, very much actively involved here. And he has written any book? Had he written apart from newspaper? India Struggle. The Indian Struggle is the book written by Subhash Chandra Bose. So when he get elected as the president of Indian National Congress, 38 as well as 39. But 39 differences happened with the Gandhi, so he left in between and finally even left India itself. And he started one organization in 1939. What is that name? Subhash Chandra Bose. Before Azad Hindu Force. Forward Bloc. Forward Bloc is a faction, in the otherwise we call, within the Congress. Indian National Congress is a movement. So within that one itself, he started this Forward Bloc in 1939. It's a faction within the Congress. Then of course, Indian National Army, or called Azad Hindu Force, he initiated with the help of Japan. So there are the few points, of course, you have to keep in mind. Quick recollection of Subhash Chandra Bose. Then one more thing also is the statue is black, is made up of what? Granite. It is 28 feet granite. Now whoever preparing for this Telangana, okay, PSC related anything, very important bit it is. Why? This statue made in Telangana from the single stone. Are you aware? No. Very important bit. Okay. So that clearly shows that you are neither reading the newspaper, okay, nor listening to the Telangana what is news channels, either V6 or Incote T News. Okay. Other things I am sure that it will be done. So it's a 65 metric tons. Okay. Weight part is concerned and made by the granite stone that was unearthed from Khammam district. Okay. And this black granite, a single stone, okay, was taken from the mandal. What called the village is Medidapalli. Okay, Medidapalli village. Medidapalli. Okay. So it's from this Medidapalli village of Tirumalayapalam mandal. And of course, Khammam district. So it's all made of granite, right? The black granite. So very renowned Khammam granite. And coincidentally, this granite quarry, okay, belongs to one of the TRS MP. Okay, and is the head of the Gayatri group of institutions as well, Ravichandra. V. Ravichandra, Madhiraju Ravichandra. It belonged to him, then I made it up. And it was nurtured by, right? Because we required whom? Sculptor. And what's the name? Arun Yogaraj. So it was sculptured by Arun Yogaraj. So possibility of this sort of thing. So the Telangana is in the map, and the quality of the granites counts a lot, right? So that's the main. Okay, so always keep that in mind. So then back to another news. Supreme Court or the central and states what you want, you're expressing on EWS quota. So now the constitutional bench was created to decide whether the reservations are valid or not. That is reservation given to EWS, economically weaker sections. Hitherto reservations were based on caste basis, not on economic criteria. So from when in India we have reservations? Is it in 1950, 51, 52, 53 or 93? So 1990, 1950 Constitution came into force. So do you have reservation at that time in the Constitution? Yeah, Swati and Divishri mentioned 51. So show says no. So we don't have it. When the Constitution came into force, no. So Article 15 and 16 talking about no discrimination. But later 15.4, 16.4 was added by very first constitutional amendment, 1951. Okay, very first constitutional amendment, 1951. The reservations were added. What is that articles? 15 clause 4, 16 clause 4. This is related to education, this is related to employment. So very first amendment, 1951, that was done. So this reservation issue, this clauses is based on the caste, but EWS is based on income. Income as taken as a criteria, not the caste as a criteria, isn't it? So they made it up. So initially for scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, reservation was given. So 15, 7.5, then the OBC, other backward classes, 27%, together 49.5 it came. The Supreme Court put the cap in this Indra Sahane case, our famous called Mandal Commission says 50%. Come what may, should not cross 50%. And now the TWS reservation issue arises, then it is crossing. But what is the justification from government? So we are not creating any reservations. Okay, this for reservations, caste reservation continues. The remaining 50% is there. Among them, we are categorizing. Economically, we will get the top priority. Then others. As similar justification for 1/3 for women. For everywhere. OC 1/3, BC 1/3, SC 1/3, ST 1/3. So you see that everywhere women's reservation should be of 1/3. Similarly, among the OCs itself, economically weaker section we need to address. So we are doing. And anywhere in the constitution talking about government should take care of this economically weaker sections, any article of the constitution or any schedule of the constitution? So if the parliament made, it should make the law according to the constitution. It can't do as it likes, right? After constitutional amendment, very first amendment, then only the reservation they made, parliament made it. So according to constitution, parliament made it. Now this 10% reservation to economic, is it according to the constitution or not? Is a bigger question, right? What is that amendment that made EWS reservation 10%? 103. I think somewhere it was mentioned, right? 103rd, the constitutional amendment. Now this is in question mark. They added 15 here, clause 15.6, 16.6. With that, they made 5 is relating to promotions. Okay, so they added now. So what is the article justified? Is Article 46. The justification for this is Article 46. What is Article 46? The part and parcel of directive principles of state policy. Directive principles are directives, guidelines. They are not mandatory, right? They are non-justiciable in nature. If government failed to implement, you cannot go to the court of law. But government can implement, because what is the aim of directive principles of state policy? Establish welfare states. So this is the one thing. So Article 46 clearly states the government should take care of economically weaker. So we are taking care. Always they will take one clause. Now for the implementation of directive principles, they are doing this. So whenever a descriptive question in future, right, fundamental directive principles or analyzing directive principles, you have to add this, the latest thing, then only you will get the marks, otherwise no. Okay, application orientedness should be there. Okay, always try to see that one. So at this juncture you can try to quickly recollect. So now the question, can it be of across the 50%? Can it be also? And one more question out of the three now pose this, whether is in tune with the basic structure of the constitution. So when the word basic structure arises, in which case that court use that word basic structure? Keshavananda Bharati case. So recently one law examination, they asked the question, this question of basic structure, the word was coined by, see, sometimes no, they ask so tough questions. It's by an constitutional expert, a lawyer at that point of time, a famous Supreme Court lawyer who is an expert on constitution, authority on constitution. It is he who coined, and judges has taken and used that word. And later he became the ambassador of India in Russia also, and number of things. Then has the very famous book, We the People. Number of competitive examination, that question also appears. We the people. What is that? Who? Pardon? No. We the people, the wording we had taken from American Constitution, no doubt. We use the word, the preamble. There's a book also on the type with the title, We the People. That was authored by him. That name of this famous lawyer is Nani. Yeah, we got this one. Bandaru Swati mentioned Nani Palkiwala. Okay. Of course, in the judiciary exam, that question posed, but still, okay, Nani Palkiwala. It is he who coined that word basic structure, but used by and associated with the Keshavananda Bharati case. Okay. So what is basic structure? Again, you have to refer the preamble. What? Okay, preamble should be taken as basic structure. Apart from Constitution stipulated few things like fundamental rights, rule of law, all those things, and number of aspects recently they are adding. Now the okay issue into the basic structure. So as right to equality, fundamental rights or a right to equality is the fundamental, then whether it is violating anything. So all the issues now has to be addressed by the court. So we have to see it very carefully what it is going to be and do this. Then of course, quick recollection, last week we discussed about the Hemant Soren issue because of the allegations of corruption. Okay. It seems that Election Commission recommended the governor to disqualify him. But so far, governor said nothing about that, even today, isn't it? So he has taken care that, okay, to undo that into the confidence motion and finally on the confidence motion. One of the legal thing is that once the confidence motion imposed, now for example, if the governor disqualify him, assume it, he will only lose the membership as an MLA, not as a chief minister post. He can continue as a CM. Only thing is he has to get re-elected within 6 months. So ethically, morally, it may not stand. Okay, but they are untouchable. Those words are untouchable for politicians, or for that matter, whoever is in polity. Okay, so he recourse to this. Can you tell me why perhaps he adopted that? What is the Chanakya Niti or Shakuni, okay, thought behind? Any reason? Constitutional reason I am talking about. Okay, when the Shakuni, some they link with something, no? Some law or another, some issue or another, where other person can't say it. Okay, it says if a no confidence motion was introduced and passed Again, when it can be reintroduced? Against the 6 months. Before, within that, you can't. As a confidence motion or no confidence motion or the trust vote already done, you can't reintroduce again in the short span. So there's a stipulation is there. So that he is buying time. So you want to be the CM, come on. So simple. So in every law, there is a flaw. So they will make use of it. The politicians are meant to make use of each and every vision and everything. So you can't say anything else. Sometimes, no, the surprising, even I saluted the Kavita or Honorable MLC, okay, and daughter of KCR, recently come into the limelight because of allegation against her regarding what? Liquor scam. Allegation. And everybody is talking about her name. Did she say anything? Nothing. Quietly, calmly approach the court of law, that to the lowest court, the metropolitan court, okay, and get the order, and that order make them shut their mouth. So simple, okay. Simply say this: these are allegations making. True or not has to be verified. Till that was done by the CBI or any other authority established by central government, they should not utter my name. That's it. That's the only order she got. Lowest court. Court is the court, right? Where the Metropolitan Court, Supreme Court doesn't matter. If you don't like the Metropolitan, then you have to go to the other court of law. Isn't it? Then you silenced the entire thing. Okay? Now you never heard that name from those. If at all they want to, again they have to go to High Court against this order or the Supreme Court against this orders, nothing else. So always they will make use of the provisions of the law. Okay? If the good purpose they have done it good. Like those sort of things, right? Tarnish the image. She may put the defamation suit. Instead of going for defamation suit, she opted this. Virtually now silenced. If the defamation suit, this arguments continues. But nothing like this. Okay, that's how you have to make use of the law. You need to be authority on the law, or somebody authority person need to advise you. So something happened, right? And it is done. So here also they made use of that. Okay. Hope you remembered confidence motion, no confidence and trust vote, the differences. Confidence motion. Yeah. Okay. Audible now. Okay. So confidence vote is introduced by the ruling party. No confidence motion is opposition. Trust vote were done generally, and they call for the trust vote by the government calling for. So their general vote they use. Then of course the ban on the conversion therapy. Okay, this is also another support is taken for this LGBT community. So this is also an issue is taken. Then another dark sky reserve is also an important for you. Where this dark sky reserve, Ladakh. Okay, so this is a bit so request to look into. Then PM Shri Yojana. So SHRI stand for Rising India. So SH is school, right? Rising India. Okay. So 14,500 school to be developed here. So these are all in tune with this our new national educational policy that's shortly coming it up. So advisable to quickly recollection on this. Then another, right? These are all the newspapers carrying India's overtake. UK now it become fifth largest economy. What are the other four? US, two, Japan, Germany. Then info there is good, but regarding human development index, it has gone down. So initially, at least before you have 131, now decreased to 132, from 131 to 132. So out of 191 countries, that was done. So this is also a matter of concern. And anyhow, just what I said, when this dark sky reserves, okay. So before we have this France, United Kingdom, Wales already be there, just for information. Now that India, we are having first time this dog. Just keep in mind so that you will have an idea where else. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So India is the 12th country that having the issue. Then longest railway tunnel we are going to have from where to where and how much. So 14.57 kilometer tunnel, okay, between this Dev Prayag and Janasur. So it's a part of 125 kilometer Rishikesh Karnaprayag broad gauge line. Okay, it's a part of religious tourism. Okay, Dev Prayag Janasur. That's how this looks it is. Then of course another, okay, the boy is concerned Diamond League. He got into another gold. Then of course Thrissur, Nelambur and Warangal again. The Telangana in the news as this UNESCO Global Network of Learning Cities. Okay, it entered into. So as this, the issue for Telangana again, the set you have to keep in mind. Then Nagaland gets its second railway station, Shokuvi village, after a gap of 100 years. This is surprising indeed. So after independence, we never have another line. So at last, where this is concerned. Okay. So 1903 before. Now we are making the things. Then of course another vote came, green bench. So the Supreme Court also wanted to undo all this paperwork. So no papers, neither with judge nor with the lawyers, nor anything, everything online. Okay. So let's see that one. Then of course Raman Magsaysay Awards issue is that. Then go through this one and 22 are recent announced. So for mental health, for effort, for training, for fight against marine pollution, all the awards it is. So from 1958 onward, this award is meant for this one. Okay, at the name of the Philippines president and popularly called as Asia's Nobel Prize. So this award which you have to keep in mind. Then of course one more regarding AP, where the golden memory of Rajamandra came up. So here, long back when the Chalukya king Rajaraja they made. Okay. Now, why this is in the news? Hmm? How many years? 1,000 years of celebrations. 100 going. So 1,000 years. So advisable. I thought that okay, the AP related, if any question by miss, okay, chance, okay, we may put it up, take our phone. So take care of those things. Okay. Then the few historical significance aspects take note. Okay. So that's all for today. Any doubts, clarifications? Right. Right. So thank you very much. So meet you tomorrow. Bye.